Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. A federal judge has now blocked President Joe Biden's administration from enforcing its vaccine mandate. It was in place for employees of federal contractors.
Yeah, the orders came in response to a lawsuit from several contractors in 7 states, including Idaho and Utah. It applies across the U.S. because one of those challenging the order is the trade group Associated Builders and Contractors Incorporated, whose members do business nationwide.
So the U.S. District Judge in Augusta, Georgia, issued a stay to bar enforcement of the mandate nationwide. That judge found the states are likely to succeed in their claim that Biden exceeded authorization from Congress when he issued that requirement back in September. And with Omicron now detected in at least 20 states here in the U.S., the CDC is closely following cases in South Africa. It's to see how this new COVID variant might spread in the U.S.
So right now, more than 99% of COVID-19 cases in the United States are the Delta variant.
It appears that with the cases that are seen, we are not seeing a very severe profile of disease. In fact, it might be, and I underscore might, be less severe.
We have months of study on Delta, and all of those data demonstrate that vaccines work.
So 60% of all U.S. citizens are now fully vaccinated. However, cases are still rising, mostly in those who do not have the shot.
So meantime, both Merck and Pfizer are eyeing the end of the year for emergency use authorization of their COVID-19 treatment pills. An FDA advisory panel recommended Merck's and will soon review Pfizer's.
So here in Washington, there are at least 3 Omicron cases that we know of. They were all found over on the west side in King, Pierce, and Thurston counties.
So it's actually South Lake Union where the next steps of Washington's Omicron story will unfold over the next week or so. That's where samples from 3 people in Washington are already the subject of intense study.
So our sister station in Seattle actually got an exclusive look at that lab tasked now with studying Omicron cases. It's one of only a few across the nation and will help discover how vaccines will work against this new variant.
It was Saturday when the UW Medicine's virology lab in Seattle sent word that they found not 1 but 3 positive cases of the Omicron variant in Washington. The 3 cases found in 3 patients from 3 different counties in the state. But it's a sample. Now what to do with it? It needs to be studied, so it comes here to a level 3 lab that we can't go inside. But we can see a little bit of what goes on here, as scientists inside the lab are suited up to work with dangerous viruses. Bottom line, to study the virus, they need to grow it.
We brought him over here and put him in the biocontainment lab.
Michael Gale is the UW Medical School's co-director for emerging and infectious diseases.
The first thing that we need to know, and the first experiments we're going to do to address this, is do current antibodies produced from vaccination protect against Omicron, and ask if antibodies from people who have been vaccinated can actually neutralize the virus in culture. And if it can, then it gives us hope that we have vaccine protection against Omicron.
So it will be interesting to see what they ultimately find out. In the meantime, the viruses can be handled in different ways. Even just the spike proteins can be attached to safer neutral viruses for other experiments. And this lab does have a direct link to scientists in South Africa who, of course, are also doing a lot of research.
Omicron not going to get us
That's
now.
right. Not right now. All right. We definitely had some fresh snow today. It wasn't a lot, but it did certainly come on top of what we got yesterday. It feels, though, different today, Tom. It feels like it's melting. It feels warmer. Am I imagining that?
No, you're not. Okay. You're not imagining that at all. And also, side roads, very, very slippery. But when you get on most of the main arterials and bus routes, good traveling conditions. So city and county crews, we thank you for that. But boy, slow down when you get off the main arterials. That's a look at Snoqualmie Pass. Again, in good shape. Roads are bare and dry. Down in Colfax, you can see the roads there mostly bare and dry as well. And they got quite a bit of snow down in the Palouse last night. But again, melting. We still have that winter weather advisory in effect, not in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but to the north of us. That's going to be in effect overnight to early tomorrow morning, about 7 o'clock, as the potential for a little bit more snowfall in those areas is possible. Right now, we're at 31 degrees. So Whitney was correct. Yesterday at this time, we were at about 25 degrees. So it has warmed up a bit. Still a little bit below freezing, though. Doppler radar looking relatively quiet. We've got a few snow showers. They go from rain to snow as it exits from Washington State into north central Idaho. But again, could see a little bit more snow north of us as well. Look for an overnight low of 25 degrees. We'll see a daytime high of 36. Could see some drizzle or light snow overnight. Maybe a little morning drizzle tomorrow or kind of a rain-snow mix. But we should get above freezing again with a high of 36 degrees. A potent weather system headed our way tomorrow, or excuse me, on the weekend. We could get snow Friday night into Saturday with moderate accumulations, and then it may get sloppy and get heavy and change to rain with a daytime high of 41, and then a chance of more heavy snow or changing to rain on Sunday with a daytime high of 40 degrees. I'll have your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. And police are now on the lookout for a specific vehicle associated with that active Amber Alert right now. They're still looking for this 15-year-old girl. Lewiston police say Lillian Dixon is believed to be with 36-year-old Jonathan Bowles. He is a non-compliant sex offender and has multiple felony arrest warrants out for him right now. So
today, the Amber Alert was updated with a description of the car the two could be in. So it's a 2007 maroon Chevy Trailblazer, has Washington plates. Matter of fact, the numbers are BKA 0197. They don't know if the two are traveling on foot or by that car we just mentioned, or just plain old hiding out. Bowles is considered armed and dangerous.
So we do know that Lillian is from Lewiston, Idaho. She was last seen on December 3rd at Lewiston High School. Police believe the two could be in Columbia County near the towns of Starbuck or Waitsburg. That's north of Walla Walla. If you have any information or you happen to see them or that vehicle, don't approach them. Just call 911.
Well, if you have had trouble, and we're all doing holiday shopping, right? Trouble parking downtown, you are not the only one.
The parking app just doesn't work.
Yeah, we talked with the city about what they're doing so you can avoid getting a ticket.